Okay, so this time we're gonna build the simple wig on top of this. So we have this hat, and I'm going to actually make it like you know like you can build it from the top, like on the floor, and then bring it up, uh, or just build it from here. It's your choice. I just start build the rigging on top of this character's head, and one of the first thing that we should do is delete choose this one to delete the history, because we don't really need all this information here. So I'm going to delete that. I mean, click that button to delete the history, and then after that, uh, the second thing that we should do is freeze transformations by click this button to zero all the other things out. And the other thing that we should do is we give a name, proper name, hat underscore geo, and then press enter. So we are pretty much ready to go. And one other thing actually I will do is I will change the pivot points down to the bottom, and then press D. So you should press D and then change the you can change the pivot points, and then press D again, and you will be set. The reason why I changed that is I want to make the head rotate on top of this character's head, right? So first thing that we should do for the rigging is because we're gonna make the controls, right? And the controls should be made on the bottom. So I'm going to bring it up, and then what I do is so I'm going to make this a control to animate this character. So what I do is the same as the when we finish the modeling of the head. I'm going to delete the history, and I'm going to also freeze the transformation, and then I'm going to change the name to head control, right? And after then, what I do is simply I just parent this one to this control. Okay, I just parent it. You can use parent constraint and whatever, but I will just but before I do that, right, or after you do that, I will of course move down the pivot points as well. If you have used your parent constraint or point constraint or any kind of constraints, I recommend you to change the pivot points before you do that, before you apply that constraint. Okay, and once you've done that, now you can move this head around using these controls. Okay, and the other thing that we can do is we can actually apply some of the deformation here. If you go to the rigging tab, or you can go to animation tab, either one, you will see this deformation pull down menu, and from here you can apply nonlinear deformation here. So I will first of all I will apply squash and stretch, and this is something that you like people. What did I choose? My mistake. Sorry about that. I undo that function. I should just choose your head. So keep that in mind. You have to choose the head, not the this control to apply that deformation, right? So and once you choose the head, and then you choose squash and stretch, yes, and then after then, by using this factor, you can make it squash and stretch it, right? Just like people set up the ball rig, they use this squash and stretch deformation here, and then choose the head once again. I'm going to also apply bend. So once you apply the bend, when you click this head, you will see also bend options. So if you choose that, right, it's much more fun than just just being able to rotate this, right? And then after that, you choose what the head once again. You can also apply, if you like, twist. Okay. The other thing, I don't think it's gonna be very helpful, but maybe twist could be fun, because, but you don't see it here. But let me apply some bend first, and then the twist, and then you can see, right, the twist is happening. So twist may not be as, useful as the other ones, like a bend or a squash and stretch. I guess squash and stretch could be most useful, but also bend also when you do a follow through and overlapping. I think you can use them. And so now, basically, I mean, there are things that you can do. You can set up. You can, if you know rigging, if you have taken rigging classes, you can set up those options here, right there. So you can on the channel box. So you don't have to select each time you want to use these options. You don't have to select this geometry, which is kind of bad to do that, to animate. But for this class, right? For this class, you have to, you have to just like, I don't think I should teach you how to set up the options here, because this is not for rigging, and this class is not for rigging, and but it should be okay, right? And keep that in mind. This is the main control for the head, and so if you don't want to see these controls, you can just click after deformers and then hide other things. Then now you're kind of ready to go. But keep that in mind. When you animate these values, you have to make sure that you come here and set up the keys here by just grab this one and press S on your keyboard. You wouldn't be able to set up the keys on these values, right? So you will have to choose and then press S, right? Okay, that you have to keep that in mind. But I'm going to undo that. Now we are ready to animate. Well, actually maybe not, because we need to set up the floor, and if you want to build some simple set, you have to do that right before we start animating it. So that's pretty much it. So next video, in the next video, I will show you how to create simple walk with this character. Okay.